Hello and welcome back to the Lazy Susan Revolution podcast, co-hosted by Mary, Chris, and Sean Rudes. Now live in visual format with two of our friends, Meg and Lucas, which we saw in one of our previous episodes.
Well, we didn't see them, but
we heard about them at
We
least.
felt them.
Yes.
that was
So,
us.
I would also say they're more than just friends.
Yeah.
We are more than just
And brother-in-law.
Hi, these are our friends.
as you all know, right around now we are experiencing quarantine. So anybody you're quarantined with is more than friends now for you guys, I guess.
I
This
hope
is
they're
it.
all family.
Yeah, hopefully all family.
This is our tribe
This
for
is
the
our
next
tribe.
few
The
months.
Quarantine tribe.
Yeah, this is like quarantine day
Yep.
Yeah, and
4.
So in the past
34.
in the past 2 weeks, we've been talking a lot about quarantine. Actually, well, the virus in general. And after each of those weeks, we've said, all right, let's not talk about it too much the next week, and then it gets more interesting the next week.
Yeah, not much to talk about around here.
Right.
Well, yeah.
It is what it is, but
Yeah, we've
It
got
works.
lots of ways that we're passing the time by like eating a lot more than we usually do, sleeping a lot more than we usually do.
Healthy.
Are we just turning into bears and just hibernating
Yeah, so
right
that's
now?
basically what's
Basically.
happening.
Kind
Yeah,
of. We're
it's-
desperate for any
Yeah.
type of entertainment possible. and
Yeah.
It comes
I
in
think I
forms.
feel like it's been worse for you guys. Like Lucas and I, the week previous, all of our students at the college campus where we work they all got sent home, but we were still working at our Newman Center, doing some cleaning, doing some projects. Like we've had, it's felt like we've still been working. You guys
Yeah.
have already had a full week of
Yeah.
not.
We spent the
terrible,
week
so-
redecorating our office, so
Yeah.
whole new paint and new layout and everything. So
So you guys have been just living in a ghost town for a week?
Kind of. There are
Basically.
still a few people around. The people who are around all kind of congregate, which defeats the purpose of the quarantine. But
I mean, none of the people in small town Platteville are infected yet.
yet.
That you know
That's
of.
the thing. That's the nice thing about, being up in Platteville. We don't really have to worry just yet. It's a pretty rural area. It's going to take us a while to get infected up there. And so we decided the wisest thing was to come back down to visit you guys here.
And
Worst
we
cases in
appreciate
St.
that.
Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we,
true.
We appreciate you coming down here and visiting us because before we were just here and, Sean was attending an online class at
Oh, yeah,
Webster
right.
University. Mary and I are going to be attending classes next week online and just bringing you guys down. It's a nice, fresh, new,
Breath of air.
Yeah,
New
breath of-
breath of
That
air.
and our 28 board games.
right.
Yes.
and the 28 board games
All in a duffel bag.
on a duffel bag. So
Yep.
we are all
More.
set for quarantine with board games. Board games are a good way to get past this quarantine sesh, I guess.
Yeah, no, sure.
Just a light set.
That makes
And
it sound
definitely-
like there's going to be another one later. Like,
I
this
hope
is
not.
session.
I mean, maybe in 100 years' time.
Yeah,
yeah, we can
Well,
hold it out to them.
yeah, you got
This is our session.
if you got like big families like us, it's a good way. Throw out a party game, we all laugh and eat too much food while playing board games. It's all great and that, but there's also like other activities you can do. You can still go outside and go on walks. Don't think that we're just indoors, we can't leave or else we'll get infected or whatever. But you can still go out and go to parks or whatever, but like we were out at Twin Oaks Park, a local park around us, like yesterday, and there was like a few people out. There's not
It's a handful.
just a handful.
Not a lot.
You
And-
can keep people inside. It's just
Yeah,
impossible.
and all that. So on the topic of board games, you guys want to just like throw out some good ones, good
Yeah,
family
so
games you
I-
can put out?
I think our plan here is to kind of come up with the top 5 best board games to play in quarantine. Now this is the catch. Like, it's not just the best board games of all time. You got to think about the types of games that aren't going to make people so mad that they won't talk to you for the rest of quarantine. So keep themselves from the quarantine.
And in that case, Monopoly is out right away.
Right, like if you
Monopoly was
play
out
Monopoly, it's like
Yeah.
someone's
are
just
you?
Don't
yeah.
play Monopoly with people you love.
Yeah.
Friends don't let friends.
So
play
we-
Monopoly.
So you gotta. My criteria is you gotta get a good game that has a lot of people and a little bit of strategy, not really big, something that works the mind, works the brain a little bit.
We're into strategy over
Yeah,
here.
so
Strategy, but not too much strategy. Not like, the person who never plays board games can't even figure out how
Yeah,
to game.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
make me want to quit strategy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Does anyone have a number one they want to go right off the bat? Each one
started
of us is
with
going to
one.
have our personal
Personal
mention.
favorite.
Let's go ahead and start with Meg, because
Great.
she's licking her teeth and in anticipation to tell us
Oh no.
your number one game.
Well, I was gonna start with the one that I feel like everybody's probably already
That's all right.
thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
no.
I know. I hope I didn't take anybody else's, but I was gonna say Pandemic, not just because the theme is fitting, although it wonderfully appropriately is. But I like Pandemic because, first of all, for a case like this, again, kind of perfect thematically, but also the fact that Pandemic is a collaborative board game, which is, I think, exactly what you kind of want for this sort of situation. You've got the people who really like board games, who know what they're doing, the people who don't really but are along for the ride. You're able to communicate and work together. So either you win together or you lose together, and nobody feels attacked or called out, which is kind of what you want, especially when you've got newer game players. And it is still very strategy heavy, enough so to keep the high strategy gamers entertained, I would say.
And another thing to point out with Pandemic is like, if you're in quarantine for a while with the same people, the next day you can be like, hey, let's try it again.
Yeah,
Let's try it again.
it's
Let's up the
Let's
difficulty.
try it again.
And
Exactly.
like the replayability of that game
Yeah.
makes it really fun when you're stuck with the same group.
It
for a
was
while.
good. We introduced the game, before we left with some of the staff who had never played before. And Matt Bush, who's just such a fun guy, but he had never played before, and we played twice, and he was like, all right, guys, let's play hard
Right.
mode.
Oh,
he was so
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
So,
oh no.
yeah.
Before you know it, we're like out in the labs, like actually trying to cure
Yeah.
COVID-19.
one more try.
We
got
go
this.
down to CDC, knock on the door. Hey, I'd like to try again.
So, I know the last time didn't go great, but hey,
If we,
This
if
team
we
won
do it on
again.
hard mode, we can make it better.
it's a good challenge. So yeah, that's my pick. Again, sorry to start out the gate with the obvious one.
Oh, well,
but
that's a great game. It's a good way to get the family together, get your new players, your not older players, more experienced players, and put them together and different minds working together. So that's, I think, a great pick. Lucas, you have a favorite game?
Well, I have a favorite.
Favorite
but-
quarantine game?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, because it's like, on the one hand, my current favorite is War Chest, and I think it has a lot of replayability.
Yeah.
But I think for this specific quarantine, probably have to go with Dominion, because it's just got such a good amount of versatility in the amount of cards that you use each game, and it's a pretty good group game where no one really ends up being too hurt, because usually you're not focused on like winning exactly, you're focused on like having the best strategy to win, so it's like kind of a little less personal on the attack, so people, I don't think, get too amped up on whether they or not they feel offended that someone else is winning the game. But there's also such variety in like how you win the game, because you have such variance in cards, that I think it has a lot of replayability in this sort of setting, where you can just play it, and then the next day you play it again, but it's a completely different game, because you selected random cards.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true. I've not
it's-
played
Oh, yeah.
Dominion before.
I
I've
have-
played.
We can play it soon.
We can play it after
Yeah.
this movie.
Got plenty of
I have
time.
played Word Chest once.
Yes, I
and
have too.
I think just because it was my
Yeah.
own trial run, I didn't get the most
That was
out
a
of it. It was
trial.
frustrating for me because I had never played before.
Yeah.
So a few more tries and maybe it'll be a
Also,
favorite for
it's
me.
like-
But
yeah.
Well, it's also fun once you actually get enough people in, then you can have the 2
Yeah.
versus 2,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit more interesting.
I just
Yeah.
did a one-on-one.
Yeah, we
Practice.
did a one-on-one, and I had the lead, and then it
Yeah.
fizzled
Yeah.
It
away.
flipped.
I
Yeah,
won.
The tides turned.
yeah, which
Yes,
is-
they did.
yeah. War Chest was actually surprisingly fun. I thought it would be a little bit more on the boring side, but it actually was fun. So
I'm glad you think so.
yeah, I'm
'Cause
not.
I enjoy it.
I'm not trying to like. I was trying to give it a compliment, but didn't really go that way. Um, I got a couple games in mind that I think are good games to play.
Yeah. Let's hear them.
Really?
Yeah, like games that we
keep
hear.
us waiting.
Sorry,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Now you're putting pressure on me.
Yeah.
couple games that came to mind were Ticket to Ride.
That was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
That one's fun. I had Betrayal in my head, but it's a little too long.
I like Betrayal.
It's a
though.
good
Yeah.
game.
We
it's,
have
it's a
more time than we
Yeah.
like.
If-
I feel like time is not an issue when we're
If
talking about
this-
quarantine
Yeah.
parameters.
Right. That's the.
So I'm gonna. Thanks.
Thanks for
Meg,
that.
Sorry.
for that. I'm gonna stick to Ticket to Ride. Being we're talking family and being together in quarantine. I'm gonna stick with Ticket to Ride because it's pretty easy to pick up. If you guys don't know the game, you basically are different characters and you have different trains and you put them around the country or whatever, trying to get from place to place. You have tickets and you have to complete the tickets to get points, and if you don't complete the tickets, then you don't get the points and stuff like that. So I think it's an easier game to pick up, but it's kind of like there's a lot of strategy to it. You can take any approach to it, and I think here the family enjoys it. I see Mary standing on chairs looking at
Yeah,
the
it's an enjoyable
at
game.
the-
I've lost every time I've played, but
that-
that does not
and-
mean I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of my favorite games,
and
even though I lose.
yeah, it's a great game that it's one of those games where even like you try one strategy and then you go at the end of it as like maybe I could have done something different, or you can change your strategy or whatever. It's just a good game. It's one of those games where like you think you got it under control, but somebody else has the same idea,
Yeah.
and then they cross rails.
I just remember that last time we played this, right at the end of the game, I'm like, oh, I thought of this really good strategy. Like, I don't even want to say what it is. I
Yeah.
just want to play it
Yeah.
and see what happens. But yeah, I'd be pretty stoked to do that one again.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
so
course.
I have a Ticket to Ride. It's a really easy game to pick up, and really fun for the family. Mary, do you have any
Yeah.
in mind?
So that you mentioned Betrayal at House on the Hill, that is a fun one to play because it's different every time,
Mhm.
and
yeah, one of
it's
those.
kind of fun to play against and with your friends, and you don't know
Yeah.
who you're going to be playing against and who you're going to be playing with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another good one that's got a good replayability. You don't
Mhm.
get sick of it because it's different, obviously.
Yep.
And also, right before this session, we finished playing Coup, and that's a pretty easy to pick up game. And it's simple and it's fun because you get to lie and make up little strategies and
Yeah.
steal money from family members.
You only say that because you won the last game.
Yeah. Well, I still like it. If I lose,
You
It's true.
have
I did
one
win.
win on the quarantine game.
I did. I didn't even have to lie last time, so
Yep, she literally told the truth the whole game and still won.
Yeah.
the best way to play is look like you're lying and don't lie.
That's
I
a
do
pretty
like
good
games
strategy.
like that because I realize I have a really stupid tell, except it's an opposite tell where I'll if I'm telling the truth, I'll just burst into laughter.
That's how.
That's
yeah.
the worst. I do
Sean
that all
knows
the time.
that, and
I know
Yeah.
quite a few people who do that.
And it's just so everyone thinks I'm lying and I'm a really bad liar, but I'm actually just really bad at telling the truth.
There's a very small number of people who can lie effectively.
yeah.
I
And
don't
you
trust
gotta know
myself
that
to
when
lie.
you go to those games. Something else I was thinking about with Coup is that it's very easy to get into,
yeah.
and that's something that's really good for quarantine because there's always going to be the one or two people who have never really played strategy board games a lot, and you don't want to just leave them to isolate themselves and wither and die. So if you
Check out
say
your
hey,
friends.
we got this game, it takes 15 minutes, super simple. If you don't like it, you can leave after the first round. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna love it because it's Coup. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what happened. We got,
Yeah, we got
Dad
Dad
to
to
play.
play.
He was dying. It was so
Dad
fun.
loves it.
If-
Dad's too good at games like that.
He's great at games. He just doesn't want to sit
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I don't think he likes the complicated games. 'cause
Yeah.
and
he's intimidated.
I
by
feel
it.
like that too. Even when a new game is introduced to me, it's do I really want to sit through?
I do that.
And,
Commit
yeah.
the whole
Like people
thing.
can read out the entire directions manual to me, and I literally won't hear a word. But
Yeah.
And then you start playing, and then you're
yeah,
like,
I have to
Yeah.
play to
Right.
learn. I can't listen to
Yeah.
words.
So
That's
it
just
goes.
me.
Yeah.
So what's your
So
idea?
my idea is because going last, I had to have my list, and then when everyone else put
It's
one,
the
I
stress
said,
of
okay, can't
Having
do that
your
one.
idea taken.
So the one that's left is a bit of a stretch, but I think it's fine. I would say Dungeons and Dragons,
Okay.
or games of the tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
For the reason being, I am a big fan of them anyway. But I feel under these circumstances of quarantine, they get even better because there are some problems that happen with tabletop RPGs. One of them being having multiple sessions, coordinating things week to week, and then reminding yourself what happened last time, and like I don't know, it kind of crumbles up into pieces usually in reality. But in quarantine, you're with the same people every day for several weeks, and you can do like a one shot. You can do like a 3-day segment thing. Like you could just do it because like you just walk up to them and say, "Hey, we're gonna do another session," or
You
something.
don't even
like
walk up to them. You just live with them.
Yeah. It's like it's just because it's so easy to pull together something. I think it's just the best opportunity if you wanted to do any length of a campaign. You can just get it done now that
Sure.
you're in quarantine.
Now that you have time, now that everybody will have the same schedule to some
So
extent.
much
Yeah.
time.
Good.
Now at this point, since you've gotten all of your siblings involved in your spirit arc,
Yeah.
I think at this point we should each take a turn running a one shot from a book I have.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, is it like a small book of like tiny boys?
Well, it's like a PDF, but it's
Yeah.
something I got where there's like adventures within it of different levels.
So you're saying that we each get a chance to GM?
DM.
Yeah. DM,
Yeah.
GM.
GM. General.
GM's the general term, DM's the D&D term.
Yes.
Sorry.
He's the
Please
gen-
don't sue
The
us.
general manager.
He's the general manager of
Yeah,
this
I think
league.
that'd be fun. We could
Yeah.
do like a whole week. It'd be like
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Perfect.
Why not?
Yeah, but make sure you get your online classes done first before you
yes.
game.
Yep. We all
We're-
still
we're gonna-
remember we all still have work to do. I
Yeah.
still have work
I'll
to do.
still
And
have
all
to
you
wake up.
homeschoolers, continue what you're doing.
Yay.
The real winners of quarantine.
Yeah.
I know.
Nothing
I love.
changes.
We were all homeschoolers all along.
I know. I love, by the way, how we kept referring to we keep referring to in times of quarantine as if we are now experts after this 1 week.
Oh yeah.
Like we keep
As
saying,
in when we-
this is a great game for when you are in times of quarantine, as if we're gonna be ready now for whenever it happens
Yeah, we're
again.
getting ready for the later alien invasion.
Of course.
Yeah, it's
yes.
the zombie
yes.
apocalypse. that
In
should
times of
come off the
apocalypses too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
get
zombie
better anytime
apocalypse
soon.
video games make it seem like these sort of things are a lot more exciting than they actually are.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of actually
Like
just
raiding
sitting around.
grocery stores.
Yep.
It doesn't actually look like that.
Please don't raid grocery stores.
We've seen it.
ground. Yeah, like
Stop buying all the toilet paper.
Please.
Whoever you
Please,
are,
whoever
if
you
you're
are.
listening.
if you started toilet paper craze, then shame on you.
You
I
heard it
guess.
here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first from me.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
So those are some pretty interesting, good games.
Yeah, good
I would
games.
say.
Another thing that I enjoy while being bored is watching movies, so I guess we could share all of our favorite quarantine movie list too.
Okay.
yeah, why not?
Okay.
Top
One
five
must-see
quarantine.
movie. Meg,
Yeah.
you wanna?
Oh,
All right,
gosh.
we can go in reverse.
Yeah, we'll go
Maybe
over
so. I
down
need
the
time to
list.
think now.
So-
Ooh.
First,
Any movies or
Oh.
even TV shows
Okay,
you'd
wait,
like
so-
to binge rewatch.
we're saying
So we're talking about movies that are just like good movies to watch.
Movies
I don't
that
know.
you'd be down for watching this week.
Okay, but
Because-
is it like should it be family friendly then? Because otherwise I'm just gonna say Shawshank Redemption.
Shank Redemption.
Yeah, I feel like
Say
every
what
movie
you want.
list is the same movie
You just
list.
spoiled yours.
Well, I mean I
Yeah.
can't pick it if it's like family friendly.
Well, if it's
true.
is it this family friendly?
I mean
It's not this family
I
friendly.
mean it could be R for language and
Whatever.
prison violence. I think
Eh.
it's like whatever.
Then make that be your movie. Don't let
What-
anything hold
yeah.
you back.
I know. I feel like we should just let Lucas go first at this
Sure.
point. Tell
Share
us
your
about
favorite
Shank
movies.
Redemption.
I mean-
Shank.
Redemption.
I mean yeah, just Shawshank Redemption. It's good. Everyone should watch it. It's a staple in the culture.
Yep.
Otherwise,
What culture?
our culture.
Okay.
It's an American movie.
Okay.
It is. It's Lucas introduced it to me a couple nights ago. It was it is R-rated, so know that going into the movie. But
Yeah.
if you're
Otherwise, like there's innuendos and there's language and then there's like prison violence, but otherwise it's not that bad. Like it probably mostly gets the R rating because of the language.
yeah,
So
Okay.
that's true.
in this day and age, no one cares.
Yeah.
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 That being said, though, yes, it's a worthy movie. It's a very good movie. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Any other ideas?
There you have it.
I'm not the biggest movie watcher, as you all
would-
know.
I would.
I'm fighting my urge to just say Lord of the Rings because,
Cross that
but
off
like,
my list.
I would
Which
say,
one?
I would say, okay, no, I might need some more time to think on this. I think
Alright.
you should watch old movies so that you can
Older.
with
True.
your parents, you can be all like,
Mm.
what was your favorite movie, Mom?
How old
Yeah.
are we talking though? Like
1980s
Mom and Dad,
old
like,
or
little-
1980s or like Arsenic Old Lace?
yeah.
80s.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's not that old,
Not too
but
old.
sure.
I think this is a good opportunity to watch. You know how like they keep remaking movies, like
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters or something,
Yeah.
to like
Watch
go
the
back and watch the
originals.
original Ghostbusters.
That's
or
fair.
no, I'm gonna say Jurassic Park.
Oh, that was
Okay,
pretty good.
yeah.
That is a good
That's
one
a good
because
one.
it's like old-ish.
Yeah.
But like not that old.
It's not that old.
Yeah.
It's a classic. Not
Yeah.
old, but a classic.
It's
Not
a
made in the
staple.
last. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Another
could see
staple.
that.
Yeah. No, I'd say that. Yeah, classic movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of reluctant to watch like the oldies kind of movies. I don't know why though. It's just I don't know.
You
It's
need-
not
you-
the vibe that I thrive
you-
with.
So you need the action or
No,
what?
not necessarily. I don't know. I
The
just haven't found.
explosions.
I haven't found an old movie that I like, but that's probably because I don't watch old movies.
Not really.
Well, yeah.
Um,
'cause-
Yeah, like Sean, I was gonna grab the Lord of the Rings just because it's a staple.
And you have plenty of time to
Mine.
marathon now.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
3 of them in one go. Maybe
All
the
3.
Hobbits too, but those aren't as favorite.
Yeah.
Less favorite, but still
Yeah.
favorite.
still good.
They're
Mom
both
and I
good.
were saying that we wanted to watch the Hunger Games series again
Oh, yeah.
because it's been a while.
I've only ever
I
seen the
haven't-
first one.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
rewatched them yet.
I've only seen 3.
Yeah.
I've only seen them the first time I've seen them, and I actually haven't seen Mockingjay or Mockingjay Part 2 yet. So
I saw the first Mockingjay, but that was a while ago. So, Wait, oh, is it my turn now? Or
Oh yeah.
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 is
Mitch,
it my turn? Okay. Well, if you guys are saying Lord of the Rings, I would also say like Star Wars is pretty good, except, well, not really except, but I'm not a huge fan on the newer Star Wars if that's a word.
Star Wars.
Sure.
Star
Sure.
Wars movies.
Star Wars movies.
Star Wars is.
There's, I mean, they're good. Like, if you've never seen Star Wars and watched them, then yeah, they're pretty good. But I would say go back, if we're talking about oldies movies, you can go back and watch the original Star Wars. I mean, it's 77, so it's not that old, but like,
Yeah, I would disagree with you. I think I actually do like the new ones, but I like the old ones just as much.
I would.
They're
also
very
just-
different, but
Yeah, we can go on that later, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Start a debate. That could be a whole new podcast.
Debate.
It's just the
Yeah.
Star Wars series.
yeah,
And
we'll go
it's
on
not
that
necessary
later.
to debate.
But
I just like it, and I don't care what you think.
I never said I dislike
care
it. I
about your
would
opinion.
watch them, but I just enjoy I enjoy the prequels the best. Except
Wow, that's a hot take.
What?
Yeah.
I've heard that take before.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
I don't get
prequels
it,
to
but-
me are
They're
favorite.
just a
We-
meme treasure
we
trove.
can talk about
That
this
is true.
later.
Lots of memes.
I'm picking a movie. Let me pick my movies.
You better pick them then and stop.
I
talking
said
about-
Star Wars. Okay, if you
Okay,
had time
but-
to marathon, I would say watch all the Star Wars. I just like the prequels better than
There's a little more favorite.
a
yeah.
little more favorite.
Yeah,
Both
but
good.
if you
Both
have
good.
time and you've never seen Star Wars, watch Star Wars. And also Lord of the Rings.
There we go. Yeah, I think this is a pretty it's a pretty good time just in general, just to marathon. Like, if there ever were a time in your life, now is the time to marathon any long series that you've never committed to before. I don't know. See, I'm still over here trying to think of my movie. I'm still like,
You don't seem like a movie person to me as much.
She reads books.
I'm a book person, and I enjoy movies for sure, but like, I don't know, there's not one that's sticking out to me at the moment. See, after you said, like, whoever it was that said they weren't into the, like, the older old movies, like, there are some really good ones in there. Like, I'm trying to think, like, Roman Holiday, for example. I don't suppose anybody here has seen that.
No, I'll kill some audience members by saying I have never heard of that.
It's okay.
Well,
Yeah, no. Oh, or Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I have heard of that.
I
Heard of
actually
that.
enjoy Roman Holiday a lot more. It's an Audrey Hepburn movie. It's honestly just very good. It's like a princess just takes a day of, like, you know, she gets out of her princess duties and runs around Rome.
Oh.
And these reporters figure out that she's the princess, but are just trying to, like, get photographs of her before she realizes that they know. And it's a lot of shenanigans and fun times. It's like, it's the nice balance of, like, old school charming and just honestly kind of funny and goofy, which I like a lot. So why not? Try a new old movie that you've never seen before. I would start you off with Roman Holiday. It's a good one.
Good suggestion.
good suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There
Now,
you are.
Now is this black and white or colored?
It is black and white. I don't know why. I don't know. I can see that being a deterrent for some people. Don't let it deter you. It's just as
Black
fun.
and white movies are cool too.
Yeah, they are. You know, it's good. I think there is something to that, like, artistically wise, you know, movie makers who back in the day who didn't have the medium of, like, color and all the visual effects that we have today, like, to make a well-crafted movie without that extra medium
Yeah.
is in its own way.
Yeah.
Talent.
It's art in its own right.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So
I
there
agree.
you go. Yeah, that's what we got.
Usually that's how we have innovation in technique form, is from working around those sorts of
Yeah.
drawbacks.
Yeah. So there you are. Find some other good old movies that do that.
Yeah. So we've got a whole setup of activities to entertain us the next
pass
few days.
the time.
Hopefully, in the future, we'll stop trying to pass time and just enjoy time. Because if you think about it, like, this is a time that, like, not a lot of people get all the time, and we should be happy that we can spend so much time with our family, even though it's, like, a little bit too much.
It's true.
But,
Enjoy
yeah.
it for now.
You'll never get this time back.
That's true. I like that. You know, enjoy the time. Don't just pass the time. Enjoy the time.
Exactly.
Unless you get a time machine and go back, but you know, whatever.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of time,
Would you look at the time?
I think that's all we got for today.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us again on the Lazy Susan Revolution podcast series. Don't forget to like and subscribe and smack that bell icon.
Yes,
Um,
now that you can see our beautiful faces, hopefully that encourages you to do so.
Hey.
So that's Sean, I'm Mary, and that's Chris. And these are our two
Alright,
friends,
so
Lucas
guys,
and Meg.
thank you guys for joining us here on the Lazy Susan
Yes.
Revolution.
You're
Thank
welcome.
So
It's not like I'm getting paid royalties or anything.
It's a
yes.
pleasure to be here.
Anyway, goodbye.
Bye.